Hello everyone, welcome to Fullmoon Movies. There are very few filmmakers who can convince audiences to return to the same fictional world over and over again for more than 15 years. Yet every time James Cameron returns to Pandora, audiences seem willing to make that journey. With Avatar, Fire and Ash, Cameron delivers the third chapter in the Avatar saga, and perhaps the most emotionally complex entry in the series so far. Now, what immediately stands out about Fire and Ash is that it is no longer a story about discovering Pandora. The first Avatar was about wonder and exploration. The Way of Water expanded that wonder into a family story while introducing a new oceanic culture. Now, Fire and Ash takes a different direction. Instead of showing another harmonious tribe living in balance with nature, Cameron introduces a darker side of Pandora through the Ash clan and their leader Varang. Now, this immediately gives the story a new perspective and prevents the franchise from feeling repetitive. The emotional core remains the Sully family. Following the events of The Way of Water, the family continues to struggle with grief, responsibility, and survival. Jack Sully, played by Sam Worthington, is no longer the adventurous outsider from the first film. He is now a father carrying the burden of leadership and loss. Neytiri, portrayed by Zoe Saldana, receives some of her strongest material in the franchise as she grapples with grief and begins to question many of the assumptions she once held. Cameron appears more interested in the emotional scars than physical battles this time. In terms of character depth, Fire and Ash arguably surpasses the original Avatar. The first film succeeded because audiences experienced the Pandora through the Jack's eyes. However, that supporting characters were relatively straightforward. In The Way of Water, Cameron shifted toward family dynamics, but here, the emotional wound within the Sully family became a major driving force of the story. Characters are not just simply reacting to external threats, they are processing trauma, loss, and conflicting loyalties. One of the franchise's greatest strengths has always been world building, and Fire and Ash expands that Pandora once again. The introduction of the Ash clan adds moral complexity to the Na'vi world. Previous films often portrayed the Na'vi as a largely united against human exploitation. Here, Cameron explores divisions within Pandora itself. The result is a richer and more layered society. Visually, the film is astonishing. Watching Fire and Ash in 4K demonstrates just how far digital filmmaking has evolved since 2009. The original Avatar revolutionized the performance capture and stereoscopic filmmaking. Now, The Way of Water pushed the underwater motion capture technology to new heights. Fire and Ash now continues that technological evolution by introducing volcanic landscapes, fire-based environments, and large-scale battles that blend practical cinematography with advanced visual effects. Now, what it is remarkable is that the technology rarely feels like technology. Instead, it disappears into storytelling. Individual facial expressions, subtle eye movements, and emotional reactions are rendered with extraordinary realism. The performance capture work is now so advanced that audiences rarely think about it as a visual effects anymore. Compared to the original Avatar, the leap is extraordinary. In fact, the 2009 film amazed audiences with Pandora's forests and floating mountains. The Way of Water showcased stunning ocean environments. And now, Fire and Ash introduces fiery volcanic regions, ash-covered landscapes, and new ecological systems that feel entirely distinct while remaining recognizably Pandora. The cinematography also deserves a praise. Cameron and his team use scale exceptionally very well. Massive aerial shots emphasize the grandeur of Pandora, while intimate close-up focus on emotional moments. The contrast between these approaches helps to balance the spectacle and character. The action sequences remain a highlight. Cameron continues to demonstrate why he is one of the cinema's greatest action directors. Battles are large in scale yet easy to follow, and every major confrontation has emotional stakes attached to it. Rather than feeling like visual noise, the action emerges naturally from character motivations. Now, when comparing Fire and Ash to its predecessors, each film seems to occupy a different space within the franchise. The Avatar 2009 focused on discovery and environmental themes, and Avatar The Way of Water, released 2022, focused on family and survival, and Avatar Fire and Ash, released in 2025, focuses on grief, division, and moral complexity. For many viewers, the original Avatar may still remain the most groundbreaking because of its technological impact. Others may prefer The Way of Water because of emotional family dynamics. However, Fire and Ash may be the most mature film in the trilogy from a storytelling perspective. The box office performance demonstrated that audiences still remain invested in Pandora. The film opened strongly worldwide with approximately 345 million globally during its debut weekend and continued to perform very well through the holiday season. Eventually, it grossed the billion-dollar mark and finished with over 1.3 billion worldwide, making it one of the highest grossing films of 2025. While it did not reach the extraordinary heights of the first two Avatar films, it still ranks among the biggest successes of the year. Compared to its predecessors, the numbers tells an interesting story. Avatar earned approximately 2.92 billion worldwide, and The Way of Water earned approximately 2.33 billion worldwide, while The Fire and Ash actually earned approximately 1.33 billion worldwide. While the downward trend may appear significant, it also really reflects the enormous challenge of matching two of the highest grossing films in cinematic history. The reason audiences remain still interested in Avatar today goes beyond the visual effects. Many blockbuster franchises rely heavily on nostalgia. Avatar relies on immersion. Each film offers viewers a chance to visit a fully realized world that feels alive. Pandora is not merely a backdrop, it functions almost like a character itself. Additionally, the themes remain universal: family, loss, belonging, environmental stewardship, and the consequences of conflict resonates regardless of culture or generation. Cameron understands that technological innovations alone is not enough. Spectacle may attract audiences initially, but emotional investments keep them coming back. By the end of Avatar, Fire and Ash, the franchise feels less like a series of sequels and more like a long-form epic unfolding chapter by chapter. The film may not completely surpass the emotional impact of The Way of Water or the revolutionary significance of the original Avatar, but it succeeds in deepening the mythology and giving the audiences a compelling reason to continue the journey. For viewers experiencing the film in 4K, it stands as one of the most visually impressive home viewing experiences currently available. A showcase not only for modern display technology, but also for how far cinematic storytelling and visual effects have evolved over the last 2 decades. Now, this movie is a must-watch.